you might have seen my post, but we gave out 47 that we know of. I think it's more than that. 47 visitor packets. Because we got 40 cards back, and we don't tend to run close to 98%. So I don't know, but we had 80 to 100 new people here yesterday, and that's with something different that costs no money. And so once we know about that, we'll come on a different call and share that as well, okay? But today we're talking about young adults specifically, and we consider that 18 to 35, but certainly the under 40 crowd, And Brian, I love you. I'm so excited that you're taking the time to share your gifts with my friends and colleagues. So you go for it.
Thank you so much, Karen. And if you can, just go ahead and make me the speaker. Like that.
You should be the speaker because you're the only one that's going to talk. I'm about to mute myself, so you're good.
Okay, great. Well, hello, everybody. Once again, my name is Ryan. I'm the communications manager over here at CSL Dallas. And I don't know if you're like me, but I'm a very visual learner. So I decided to go with the technically savvy paper whiteboard over here. But as Karen was mentioning, I really have been doing some great work on social media to help improve our online community, as well as to get physical people showing up here to our center at CSL Dallas. So I want to hyper focus on two main areas, which is going to be Facebook and then Meetup. And there's a lot of different social medias that are out there. Namely, you have Instagram, Snapchat, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, your local media, which is going to be like your local newspapers, also places like Eventbrite. These are all very great. And what my main objective here to do today is hyper focus on these two platforms because these have been bringing us a lot of success. That's not, however, to discredit all of these other social medias. And as we grow as a community together, we'll be offering some other type of Zoom conference calls that we can go over those other platforms together. But like I said, just for today, we're going to focus on Facebook and Meetup. Now, in beginning, I thought to myself, if I got in a room with you guys, what is the most valuable thing that I can give you? And so I decided to start right here because these are some of the techniques that we have been using that have been working. So I'll start off. First of all, can you guys hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Great. All right, so I'm going to start off with Facebook. Now, if you guys can see over here, we have two different categories. We have content and we have cause. Now, when we're looking at Facebook and we're trying to drive young adults to our community, we really got to look at these two as our main headings for doing so. The content is going to be the message. What are we providing to this community? How is that going to come across? And cause is going to be the types of things that are going to get the community involved. So let's focus on the content portion side. Content is related to a subject, a focus subject. And what I see a lot of times is that people are doing live stream, but they're not focusing the content. So meaning when I first come into the Facebook world and I'm just scrolling and it's a Sunday afternoon and I see the live stream, but I see a bunch of empty chairs and then there's some weird ethereal music playing in the background, you've totally lost me. I want to see engaging content right off the bat. Some good camera angles are crucial. Good audio is crucial to capturing that content. Because like I said, the first 3 to 10 seconds is when a person is going to pay attention to that live stream. And it's great to do live streaming, but without directive content, it's not going to go anywhere fast. Also, if we're doing pre-recorded content like here at CSL Dallas, we actually film our Sunday services and then we rebroadcast them onto social media as is. So we directly upload it to Facebook. That's great because the content, it goes up just because of how professional it looks, right? It's going to be more engaging. Back to the live streaming. When we're live streaming, the live stream isn't about the audience necessarily in the room. The audience is outside of this room too. So the content that we're doing on live streaming has to be kind of catered to this type of audience. So when we do Sunday services, that's great. The audience in the room can see that. But there's no way for them to get engaged. There's no portal and avenue for them to actually participate in this. So a lot of times an hour-long presentation, well, let me ask you this. How many of you guys tune in for an hour-long presentation online somewhere that you've never been before? Right. So the way that we're going to get them more involved with this is by creating content that's actually going to be engaging to the people online. Now, it's not to take away from our Sunday services, and they do have a place with us, but it's about offering a new and unique opportunity to be able to get young adults involved with you. They're on Facebook, right? A lot of your main crowd is on Facebook. So this is a good way for them to get engaged. And I recommend doing things like Q&A, having a moderator asking questions as that live stream is being posted and as it's being broadcasted. This will get people answering questions. Also, you could reiterate what the topic is, because a lot of times people will come right in the middle of your stream and have no idea what you're talking about. So if you have a reiteration of what today's topic is, that way they can totally understand right from a get-go on what you're talking about, and also ask those questions and they can jump right into the conversation. The next part to it is the direct engagement. Once I have direct engagement, you're going to really build a good following online. And what I mean by that is, for the folks that are participating, really actually engage with them. I mean, answer their questions, follow up with them on certain things that they're asking about. That type of support is really going to win somebody over, especially when it comes to an online community, because they're all about instantaneous gratification. Not only that, but going to your website and posting things from the website in the actual live feed is going to help that audience member who may have never been a part of your community before to see different events and activities that might be coming up down the week that they would want to show up to, right? So it's important to also pick the things from your website or different events and different activities that are coming up in your community, so that the people who might be new to the audience are going to be able to see it. Also, this works really well if you're doing hybrid classes, which I don't know if a lot of you are, but that works really great for getting people to sign up for actual courses that are done online. What I do want to mention, though, is sharing. By being parts of other groups that are like-minded groups, you're going to be able to get into those other communities with your content, and you're going to pick up a lot more online users that way too. Now, if we move over to the cause, I'm going to talk to you guys here in just 1 second about monetization. But the causes are going to be important things that people can share amongst their friends. This is also going to get a lot of new engagement. For instance, instead of announcing from the Sunday platform that we're going to be having a community service project, why not announce it online? Why not do some type of mechanism where you can have people share this message and come and volunteer as a part of the community service team, but use social media as an online portal to do so? It's also great for things that you might need around the center, especially like if you have some certain facility needs or something like that. You can also create donations for these specific needs, which also hypes up a lot of people to see it. It's really good for sharing. So the topics, as far as causes, really have to be very specific. What I've noticed is that we can't say, hey, CSL Dallas just needs money. Give it to us. More or less, it's got to be, hey, CSL Dallas needs a lawnmower to cut its grass because we haven't been able to cut our grass for the last 6 months. And if you've been here on a Sunday service, you know how bad our grass is. Don't you want to be the one to help support it? That's going to get people more charged, more motivated. somebody's probably got a lawnmower that they want to donate anyways, or somebody's going to come up with the financial means to be able to support you guys. This also creates a huge amount of engagement, especially within the local community as well too, because the way the Facebook algorithms are is once it starts to get a little bit of traction, they start to pump it up to the top of the news feeds. All right, and so ever moving along so swiftly, we're going to talk about the monetization part. This is a really key factor to this working for your community. And what I mean by that is that Facebook allows us to do a donation app, and that can go right onto your business page. Every single week on our Wednesday nights and our Sunday morning live streams, we are collecting donations every single week. Our cash flow has gone up simply because of this. It's a fairly simple process to do. You just go to donations.fb.com. That's their entry-level portal. You basically apply. There's a few things that you're going to need to apply. You're going to need your registration with your state that says you're basically a nonprofit organization. You're going to need your nonprofit letter from the IRS. Now, if you're a CSL or a CSL member inside of that community, we're actually covered under a blanket of considered a group nonprofit by the IRS. So we have our own IRS identifier, which is 6017. That covers all CSL. There should be a letter that can come from home office that the accountant should be able to get. Also, you're going to need to provide some account information to Facebook so they know where to do direct deposit. Now, the way that they work is that once they've gone through the approval process for your donation application, they're going to send you a link. And that link can now be placed onto your page, your business page, or it can be placed onto individual posts. So meaning like if I'm going to have our Wednesday night live stream, I can go ahead and in the actual, it looks like a tagging field, or it's right before I go into my actual post, you'll see a little donation app. Once I click on that, I can pull up my associated nonprofit, and boom, now that live stream becomes a fundraiser for my community. And you'll see people will donate, especially if you encourage them to donate because the cause or what they're seeing is so valuable that they want to actually give this to their community. Not only that, but once again, we go back into our fundraising type of projects. People can give you guys donations for specific types of projects. Now going into as far as the utilization of Facebook.
Brian,
yeah.
I have a question. Okay, you have no idea the chat's blowing up over here, so I just want to make sure I told them accurately. So once they go through this process and set this up, we're getting donations, and we're getting 100% of those, right? They don't take any.
That's correct. And the way their finances work is they don't take any of the donation. 100% of it is donated back to the nonprofit. Not only that, but they do have some restrictions. So let me tell you what that is. Typically, they work on a $100 increment. So once it's accumulated up to $100, then they'll do a payout. But they also do bi-weekly payouts. So basically, once I can collect in $20, it will usually come out as a payout by the 30th of that month. But if I've accumulated $100 or more, like we did this last week, then that's actually going to be paid out bi-weekly. And 100% of it comes to your center. That's why they need all the nonprofits.
Can I just repeat that? So he just said $100 this week for what we did, and it's growing. And think of that, 52 weeks a year, and it didn't cost anything. And no, there's no credit card fees.
No fees
so
at all.
You get 100% once you go through this process. So keep listening. We're sharing.
Absolutely, and it's really great because, like I said, one of the key things that I think can really help evolve our entire community is helping us with our donation amounts. And Karen and I have both gone through the rigmarole of saying, oh, well, text this number to give to us. go to our website, go to the give, go to enter in all your information 5 times from Sunday and do it 52 weeks out of the year. Nobody wants to do that. When I have the Facebook donation app, it's boom, how much money? Here's my credit card. I can save it on file. Click, boom, done. That's what people want. And we've gone through this so many different ways. I'm telling you, the Facebook donation app was a lifesaver, and it really did change things around. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that question up. So going back into utilizing Facebook, I want to talk about creation of events, because the event creations can be done a series of ways. So I'm going to give you the real basic, just get this done, but get it effective type of way. Now, you can use Eventbrite to create the event and then share to your Facebook page. That does 2 things. One, you're now on Eventbrite, which is an outward marketing tool, meaning that it's going to connect to your local newspaper. It's going to connect to the outward marketing reach of social media. Number 2, your inner community. Everybody who has liked your page is going to be notified of this event. Now, you can set up the parameters of the event. So if you have multi-day events, you can set all that stuff up. You can put the pretty pictures in there. But that's knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only that, but then that can be used to invite people from. So you can go to your personal profile page and you can invite all your friends. If you have an avatar character like me, you can go and invite people from that. You can go and post it and share it into like-minded groups that are in your local community that can help to engage and get more attraction that way. So that's just my quick suggestion, is to create an account on Eventbrite and then take that, create your events inside of there for the entire month, however long you want to do it, and then connect that to your Facebook page. So it's a real simple process, and in future tutorial videos, I can go over that stuff with you guys, not a problem. Now, going back to the groups, it is super crucial to share it in other groups that are like-minded. The reason being is when you go and you post any content, the only people who can see that content are friends of you or people who like that page. You're not actually reaching anybody. You're reaching the same community over and over and over again. And trust me, they heard the same boring speech on Sunday, and they know the same activities happening. We want to tell the rest of the world. We don't want to keep this place a secret. We want to tell the world. And so when we do that, we can incorporate things like ads. Now, when doing an ad, we really want to target the demographic of it. We just did an ad on Easter, and we thought all of our tickets came from Eventbrite. No, a lot of them came from Facebook. You don't want to know why? Because we did an ad. And that ad was centered just a 50-mile radius right around Dallas, because that's where we are. We're right in the kind of in the heart of Dallas anyways. We really specified who it is that we want to have. I mean, this is a general type of an event. This is Easter, so anybody and everybody is welcome. So I went for all. I went for a certain age group because I want to attract a certain age range of people. And that helped to narrow down the field to where when I did place the ad, I was able to get more of an effective approach. Not only that, but the ad that we actually did was a video ad, okay? And it's important to really understand the evolution of what's happening in social media. I mean, as you're looking in your timelines, you're seeing a lot of ads. Adding closed captioning on the video, that's the words at the bottom of the screen. I can show you guys in future tutorials how to put up the ads and do the whole entire thing with videos. But that is a crucial part, because a lot of people are sitting at their jobs, scrolling along, boom, they come across your ad. It's very engaging, lots of colors, lots of smiling faces, and it says, hey, come on down to the Wichathon Kick-a-thon this Saturday over here at CSL, wherever, right? Boom. All of a sudden now I'm engaged. I got the actual event scheduler right there. I can go and hit interested. I can get my tickets. I can get whatever I need all in one ad. Now, if I'm a person who has never been to your center before, that adds a level of professionalism. That also gets me more entertained because of the level of value that you're bringing to that ad. And it gets me engaged in a whole new way because you're using certain keywords like spiritual seekers or mindfulness, meditation techniques, powerful, unleash the inner power within, manifest the life of your dreams. These keywords are going to hit people that are outside of your community that are familiar with the words, however, may not be familiar with your actual center. So it's really important to do ads. I just can't stress it enough. If you don't have a budget for it, that's why you got to start somewhere with the monetization techniques so you can actually create a budget for your ads. Because if you start to do the monetization, you get in a few donations, there's your budget right there. You can reinvest that right back in the advertising, which is going to get more physical people showing up. Do you guys have any questions before I move forward?
Oh, you probably opened up Pandora's box. Here we go. Okay, Pam raised her hand. So you raise your hand on the chat in case I can't see you because we've got 40 folks. Okay, Pam.
The big thing is about these ads, how much do they cost?
You can select your own range. I typically do anywhere from $10 to $50 for an ad campaign. And that can go for, I would recommend no less. Don't do an ad for, hey, we're going to throw this event tomorrow. Let's put an ad out. Don't do that. If it's 3-4 days out, great, do an ad for it. But it's really for an event that's coming up in about a week to 2 weeks down the road. And I wouldn't go longer than that though either, because in what I've tried, I've done ads that were for Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. That was started a month prior, and I didn't get any activity until maybe about a week before the event.
Okay, so Ryan, so the keywords you mentioned, I'll read them to you, don't worry. The keywords you mentioned, is that how you describe your events? That's number one.
Yeah, so the keywords, all based upon, selective terminology. And as new thought and metaphysicians and as spiritual leaders, a lot of times what I've noticed is that we tend to use words that are inside of our community. A person outside of the community has no idea what that means. They don't even know what metaphysical means, have no clue. And when you start talking in that lingo on your ad, you lose them. So it's more about using simplified words, but powerful words, powerful statement words. I also got, I've got a couple of sheets that are really broken down into the 4 quadrants of your mind. There are words that are engaging into each one of those. So I would definitely invest some time. And if you guys want, I can make some of those available to you as well too.
Oh, they're all shaking their head. They're going to want everything we got.
Yeah, so, and my intention is to go through this with you guys, really kind of a quick overview on some basic stuff that I've really been working that's pretty much time tested and proven for us here at CSL Dallas. But I want to do follow-ups with you guys because this is not just a cookie cutter type of approach. Each one is different.
Okay, so quickly, because I definitely want you to be able to get to Meetup. So the other thing is, the question is, how do we find other groups to share the event with? So how did you start finding all these groups that now you're posting all our stuff in?
Simple. So when you're in your actual user account, like for instance, for me, I've actually created an avatar account. So this is not my actual personal page, but I'm posting as Ryan from CSL Dallas. Now, when I'm actually in my personal account, being the avatar, there is a groups setting that's over pretty much on your left-hand side, or you can always search by groups. And you can search in, like when you go to the first part of your Facebook, you'll see the search bar. You can use the word groups, and that will typically get you where you need to go. But there's also a search identification tool by groups. And so what I'll type in is spiritual groups in Dallas. And it will populate a whole list of different groups that are spiritual groups in Dallas are associated with that. I'll look at the group because there's some groups that are really very picky about what you can post and how you can post and how you can interact with groups. But I basically use that as a starting tool to be able to go inside of them and see, is this group going to be great for the type of content that I want to share? And sometimes you can get pretty deep into it, so I would recommend kind of tracking what groups react better to you so you don't spend all your time sharing to a bunch of groups that are really dead and nobody's paying attention to.
Oh, okay, so hang on. So that's that. They're asking Eventbrite fees. Are there Eventbrite fees? And now some people are talking about $1.79 per ticket, but we don't charge. So
I don't charge. I make them a free account. So the way that we sold out a lot in yesterday, they were all free tickets. Eventbrite doesn't charge for free tickets. And so I'm going to use this as a catalyst to be able to get people to engaging events that they want to go to. Now, if I was going to bring a big speaker, I'm not going to use Eventbrite for my ticket purchaser anyways, because we have our own internal systems to be able to go through the purchasing system. Instead, what I'll do is I will, in the language of Eventbrite, tell them where to get the tickets, and I'll make that go to our website, so that way all purchases can be done in one place. But for general events, if you really want to get more people attracted to your events, I would recommend just doing it as a free ticket, because then there's no fees involved.
Okay. So, so I want everybody to understand, Ryan's already said, this is sort of an overview. We will continue to feed. It sounds like he's willing to take videotape some tutorials. Anytime anybody wants to, you know, just love us up, y'all go ahead. But this is really, the intention is we are growing centers for spiritual living and new thought. That is our motivation. And so so I know he has some very key things. So I also want you to understand what he means by an avatar. So first off, you might want to go search. What is your avatar? Ryan Brown, what is your avatar?
Yeah. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating an alternate account, right? I'm using my corporate email as my email for my Facebook account. And I'm basically, in essence, Ryan, but Ryan at CSL. And that keeps it separate from my own account.
So there's a couple of key things about this. One, you want a young adult. Let's be clear, on an avatar. And he was very deliberate. Let me show you my face. This is the way Ryan Brown looks like on his avatar. And behind him is our logo, CSL Dallas. That's very important. So wherever you have a logo on your property, you want that avatar to be in front of it, because he's a stranger to everyone, but when they see a logo behind the head, that gives him some credibility. And this is important for what he's also going to talk about, you know, in Meetup and stuff. So Facebook avatar, get you an avatar.
Well, I do want to clarify, if you go to my Facebook profile now, it's my goofy looking face with a camera sitting there in a white room. And I'll tell you, she is very right, because when they look at me and they get a message from this goofball looking of a guy, they're not so, you know, they're not so pushed off. They understand that this is a real character. This is a real actual person. When I do just like a corporate logo right there as my avatar, people get way turned off way quick. And the funnier or goofier the picture, I found works actually a lot better. So, but, you know, keeping to the relevancy of this, yeah, but definitely fitting a younger adult, probably in charge of it. And it makes a great volunteer opportunity for you guys at your center as well. Okay, so I'm going to move just along here real quick, and I'm actually going to go over here into the Meetup portion, because there's a little bit I want to go over here, and it's real valuable stuff. So with Meetup, a lot of you guys are on there, and I really highly recommend it too, because it's been able to get a lot of people over to us. And the way basically Meetup works, if you guys aren't familiar with it, is that it's going to focus on telling the people who are on Meetup, who are in the general vicinity of where you're at, about your event, which is great. Now, you can do different levels of Meetup. You can go and do Meetup Pro, which allows you to have up to 4 meetups. And then you can buy meetups afterwards, but you don't really need to. Now, there's a lot of ways to work this. Most people, what I've seen generally do, are just going to go and create an account, fill out the description, put some pretty pictures up there, put a meetup or two onto their calendar, and then call it a day. I get super aggressive with it because this is another kind of animal that when you really actually get engaged with it, it works for you. And so what happens is Meetup is set to trigger. The more you're engaging with your meetups and the more people engage with your meetups, the higher they rank you, which means more and more and more people are going to actually see your event. So in creating the event, some of the key important things is also looking at your audience. Now, if I'm going to have a meditation night over here at CSL Dallas, I'm going to have a pretty wide range of people who can be interested in that versus having something more along the lines of our open door, which is really generally used for young adults that are in our community. That's going to have a whole different language. It's going to have a whole different feel. And it's very important to understand that people, a lot of times, just like you guys, you're very visual creatures, you know, you're very auditory creatures. And so we have to play our role in that. If I put a group of people that doesn't match what my event is about, or if I put very generic pictures that are just trying to be pretty, it doesn't really work. When I use real photos where I show the people that are actually there, it works a lot better. I get a lot more people showing up because the first thing they see is your header picture. And if it's a generic picture from the land of Oz, they're going to be like, I don't even know if this is actually real. And not only that, but if you have 0 attendees or 0 people who've RSVP'd, a lot of times they're not going to be the first one who jump in the water. Now, it does put it on their radar, and I've had people show up all the time just because they saw the event. They never RSVP, but it's okay. You know, they saw the event, welcome home, okay? But it is important to really cater to your audience and kind of look at the event as you're posting it. What type of language are you using? If you're using a very dramatic type of language, very, let's say, for instance, with meditation, I'm going to talk about the basic health benefits of meditation. Why does this relieve stress? All these things are very important because you got to look at the user. The end user wants to go to an event. Why? Tell me the why reason. It's probably because I want to relieve some stress because I have a bunch of nutballs around me every day and my work is overwhelming me. I just want a break from life. Start off with that. Do you want a break from life? Come to our meditation for stress relief. Its health benefits have been proven to release this, and this. So it's important to really gear the language towards the end user and what you feel will attract the most. Also, you can message. This is a great e-blast tool. A lot of folks, they use e-blast. We're starting to really diversify the types of e-blasts that we do because people get inundated with their inbox, right? I mean, yes. And so what they'll do is they'll turn that off because if they're getting it every week, 3-4 times a week, they don't want to hear anything about that place anymore, right? So this is another way that you can sneak into their inbox or really get the information over in a very targeted and specific way. Now, Meetup has a lot of different ways that you can message the group, but I'm going to really just kind of say it generally. Message your group weekly and they'll know what's going on. Not only that, it up-levels the amount of engagement in your group. And when you're posting pictures and you're leaving comments on the actual Meetup event itself, that's going to also increase engagement as well, too. Because people see something and it looks really active, chances are they're going to show up. Now, the age demographic profile for Meetup is going to get you the younger audience. Not a lot of the older audience is on Meetup. They're on places like Facebook, right? Instagram is going to get you a lot of the younger viewers. So that's also kind of a key thing too. Meditation is a great portal. It kind of works for everybody, so that's a great thing for Meetup. But if I'm going to do a Bible study class, and maybe it's going to be a very intricate layout of the Bible and its metaphysical meaning, it's not going to typically engage a Meetup group, right? Not because of the content, because the content is great and a younger person can get it, they can do all of that, but they're not really a community member. So they haven't built up enough trust with your community to really get involved to that level and that degree. Not only that, but you're talking to a younger guy who probably only gets most of his information via YouTube anyways. So, you know, the type of event that you post on there is going to be really crucial. When we did our Easter event, it was pretty no-brainer. We're Easter. You want to come bring your kids and drop them off and have the Easter Bunny take pictures? Yeah, not hard. So those types of events are really engaging, and that's what we see happening on Meetup. So the way that I really got that message out there and really drilled it into them is I messaged them about a week prior to the event, half a week leading up to the event, and the night right before the event, and then Meetup itself will actually message the individual who is RSVP'd the day of the event too. So there's several different messages that they can receive to keep bringing that message. Hey, you know it's coming up. Hey, you know it's here. Oh, it's tomorrow, right? That's the kind of corral you want to push it. One of the biggest things that I have found that works on building our meetups and also getting new engagement here is through direct messaging. And so Meetup is a great platform and a tool that I can join groups that are all like-minded to the groups that I have. I can also see the members, and I can actually see when the members join. And from time to time, as new members join the Meetup as an entire entity, I can then go and find and research those different groups and find those new members and invite them to certain activities that are in my Meetup. And I direct message them. Now, there are a lot of limitations around how you can do this, and there's specifics on the types of ways that you can do it. But I have no problems with helping you guys through that process. But what I really do want to hit home is that direct messaging on Meetup to the newest members on that platform is going to give you a really great result. I mean, really great. It's phenomenal. I see it happen every single week, so I do want to share that with you. So that's it for the Meetup. Do I have any questions about that?
So Ryan, that's all right. I'll tell you if they do. So tell them a little, just take 2 more minutes about this direct messaging, because I know that is how the young adults are literally coming in, and you can track, like, you know them because you message them and you see that they show up on Wednesday night. So just so that they understand that a little bit more.
Well, I would summarize it like this. How would you feel getting talked to? How would you feel being invited somewhere? That's how you're going to show up. And so when I say, hey, Jackie, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining Meetup Group A. Come to event B. Jackie's not going to get so involved with my message. But when I say, hey, Jackie, I really want to thank you for taking your time to come and join our Meetup Group. I want to personally invite you to some of our upcoming events. I noticed that you're interested in this, this, and this. Here's some specific events I think you would really have a fun time at, and also get to meet a lot of like-minded people. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions that you might have about the event. Also, did you know these benefits are included with this event, like free childcare, free refreshments, live music, whatever the case might be that I can really sell as value points. I feel like that is really how it has worked for me, and actually got a lot of responses back, because it's genuine people talking to genuine people, and I'm not doing some type of spam or robot type of thing with them.
And so on the average, now the ministers themselves are probably not going to do this, but there is a unique geek like you or someone, there's a volunteer to do this for them each week. But how much time do you sort of spend on the average in a week doing these direct messages?
I spend 2 days a week doing it for a total of 30 minutes a week. So about 15 minutes every other day.
So there you go, less than 2 hours.
Yeah, the total in all, I mean, depending on how much you play inside of it, and for really just to get it out there and to really do it and to make it effective, I would say probably spending about 2 to 3 hours per week on it will really realistically get you anywhere from four to 50 people, depending on the type of event.
Okay, and great. And so there's another question. I know the answer, but I'm going to let you. So do we post our weekly service on Meetup each week, or a regular ongoing event, or just special events?
We do not. Well, I break down the service into the different things that we offer.
Which
So
I'll tell them when you're done. Okay.
Yeah. So I really am trying to target it. So instead of saying, come to Celebration Sunday and then mass marketing that, I want to actually say, come to meditation because I know you like to meditate. We do it every Sunday morning at 9. I want them to discover the rest of it on their own. Not only that, but I want to give them an opportunity to meet our host team, because our host team's really great at being able to introduce themselves and to walk them around the facility. So I want them to have a genuine surprise as when they come to all the different activities. Not only that, but for the people who don't get down like that, they're not going to want to be a part of all of it. They just, a lot of times will just come for the meditation, and then, they'll just keep coming back for that for a while. And they need some time to get warmed up to our audience or to our community. And so we want to give them that space. And that's why hyper-focusing on their event and activity really helps us.
Great. It's like a first date. Think of it like
Right.
that. You don't want to, give them 4 dates at once, and you don't want to ask them to marry you before they've met you. And it's like first dates, little bites, chunks. So, I'm going to plan on sort of taking it from here. Is there anything else that you want to share with them?
Yes.
Yay.
Follow up Zoom calls. Because I know you guys have a lot of questions, and I want to go through it more thoroughly with you. I'm going to let Reverend Karen kind of help schedule that. I'm available to you guys. My main goal and objective is in doing this is to take the stuff that I am beating my head on the rock with, learning from, and then giving out to our outward community. Because look at it this way. If we had more funding, we could involve ourselves into more projects. We could get our message out there and really inundate the social media airwaves with positive reprogramming to help influence the young generations of this planet, to really encourage them that they're the creators of their reality. So if I can help build that bridge between us and them, I'm going to do it all day long. That's my number one intention. And so if you guys need follow-ups, anything to do with that, I'm here, I'm available. I can make tutorial videos. I love doing this stuff, so please don't hesitate to get with Karen, and we can schedule up some more follow-ups.
Yay, thank you. So they're going to do this, yes, for Ryan. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate joining the call.
Yeah, so now let me take it from there, because that's just a start. So utilizing Facebook and Meetup to actually get people on your campus. By the way, that's what we call it. We have no church language at all, none. So on our campus, and so I have a few things, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. I did see the question, do we meet them there? Yes. So I'm gonna tell you about our host team. That's another thing. We shared it at the Thrive workshop at the ministers gathering, Peter and I, but I know that many of you weren't here, so I'll share that too. That's a very successful program. I call it the sticking rate. It can take something, I won't say a lot, but it can take something to get